So, Harry, how do you assess the season for you and the team so far?
I think for the team, we're in a great position. I think we've started the season well. We've picked up some great results and we've also had some bad results. But I think we're in there. We're with a chance of pushing towards the end of the season. We're in a good position to have a run towards into Christmas and try and kick on from there into a position where we think we should be and maybe challenge the playoffs, which I think we're more than capable of.
And what about for yourself personally?
Personally, it's been a stop-start sort of season. Been okay. I've been off the bench quite a few times. Whatever the team needs me to do, I'm sort of happy doing it. I'm very much a team come first person. So wherever I can help the team and do my bit for them, it's good. But I like to chip in with a few more goals, really.
Yeah, I think the count is 14 appearances off the bench so
far. If that's my role within the team, if that's where the manager sees me, then I'm more than happy to do that. Obviously, I want to play, I want to score, I want to start. But if I'm more effective off the bench and he thinks that, then I'm not going to say otherwise. I'm going to do what he wants me to do.
What have you got to do to make sure you get to start rather than start on the bench?
Just put the work in training, come off the bench, keep making an impact and try and show the gaffer what I'm capable of. I think he's come in, he spoke to everyone individually and as a collective about the team coming first, and it's always a team sort of ethic around the place, and I know that, and I've spoken to him as an individual also about how to get into the team, and he's told me what I need to do to try and push that, and I think that's the good thing about this club. There's so much like competition for places that me, Tommy, obviously Naki's injured, Sykesy, Belly, Anis, all the attacking players, Andy Vyman, we're all fighting for a spot in the team, and it's only going to improve us individually as well and help the team collectively.
Yeah, on Wednesday against Southampton, you had a run on goal.
Yeah,
that didn't quite happen. You were brought down before that. What have you got to do? What have the team got to do to be a little bit more clinical?
I think we just got to take our chances. I mean, it's easier said than done. Just everyone says take your chances, score more goals, but there's a lot more besides that. But I think the patterns of play we had and the chances we created, whether it was a chance or we were a chance to make a chance almost, for me personally, that we need to get into those positions more so we're more comfortable in those positions. So when we are in those positions, we know what we're doing, we know what we're capable of. But for me personally, I think just slide 90 in, but I kept looking up, seeing a defender there, and every time I looked up, he was there. It's just unfortunate. I think if we take our chances on Wednesday, we get a result from the game. I think we know we deserve one, but it's just one of those days for us, and hopefully next time we'll learn and we'll put the ball in the back of the net more.
And how are you and the team settling in with the new governor?
Yeah, really good. I'm enjoying him. I think around the camp there's a really good atmosphere, a really good positive nature that everyone wants to keep training and improving and learning. I think it's a young squad. Everyone wants to learn and improve. So I think that's a really good trait to have as a team, that everyone wants to try and learn his style of play. We're still learning off him and he's still learning off us to see what players suit him best in what positions and how we can show him what we can do. So the more time we spend together and the more sessions we have, the better we're going to get.
Yeah, you don't have Sunday off this week, obviously. That's match day. Training tomorrow as well, no doubt. Norwich, what do you know about them? What did you learn from when you played them before?
When we played them before, they like to play a lot of football. They like to pass the ball about in positions which are sometimes a bit crazy, but it worked for them on the night and they beat us, and fair play to them. They progressed in the cup, but we've learnt from that. We've got not a new style, but a new style of how we're going to defend against them and how we're going to press them and be front-footed maybe. We haven't had much to work on in the training pitch yet because obviously we just come back with a game, but we'll have a game plan to go into it and hopefully counter what their strengths are to try and help us win the game.
Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you very much.
You mentioned about the style of play. How would you describe the new style of play?
Bristol City style of play. It's very front-footed. It's a very exciting style of play, an attacking style of play. We know we've got a good compact shape. We showed that against Southampton. I thought it's the first half we were brilliant. The boys were really compact in their shape, looked really solid. It's taken a bit of a worldie from one of their players to score, and we are still frustrated that they scored from that. So it shows that we have got a great willingness to defend. I think everyone really wants to defend and keep clean sheets, but we know that we can sit back in and keep a good line and defend really well, and then we've got the pace on the counter-attack to do it. But we want to be an attacking style of play, a really front-footed style of play to try and go and score goals. And we've seen the positions we need to get into over the last, scored 3 against Middlesbrough. Obviously, first time against QPR we didn't score, and again we didn't score the other day. But we had the chances. I think we're creating a lot more chances, getting into a lot more attacking, exciting positions to try and excite the fans, which is what we want to do.
Am I right in saying there was a video session this morning?
Yes.
Sort of team
yeah.
Could you give an insight into what happens during that?
Yeah, so basically he sits us all down as a team and goes through a few clips from the game, what we've done well, but I think more importantly what we haven't done so well, so we can learn from it. I think it's not a blame culture. I don't think he says before he doesn't want anyone to feel bad. If you're the one in the clip that's made the mistake, like it's not pointing you out. It's this is what I can do better. So next time when I do it, so for me personally, I would have gone through the clip of me going through on goal on the right hand side and what I should have done and what I could do next time. So now when I get into that position, hopefully next time I'll be able to have an end product and hopefully help the team out. But he goes through what we could do, and I think it's really interesting to see where other players want you. So when George Tanner gets on the ball, where does he want me to be? Where does he want Pringy to be? Where does he want everyone to be? So we can all help each other in relation to the pitch. But it's a good insight into what we're trying to become, which is it's going to take time. We're not going to become this world-beating side overnight that we're going to win every game 5-0. It's going to take time. It's a process, and the lads are all buying into that process, and we want to keep improving. And I think our performances have got better. It's about getting the results now, and hopefully on Sunday against Norwich we can go back-to-back home wins, because I thought the performance against Middlesbrough was really good, and if we can perform like that again, get another 3 points and make Ashton Gate a fortress, it's going to help us towards the end of the season and get to where we want to be and where we believe we should be.
Of the sort of coaches you've had through your career,
Yep.
You worked with Rob Edwards,
Yep.
Nathan Jones.
Yep.
Did you work with Eddie Howe at all?
Yeah, well, I was young with Eddie Howe,
Yeah.
but obviously trained with him for 2-3 years.
Of course you would have done,
Yeah.
to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wondered, like, how kind of Liam Manning. Do you see any sort of elements of them in him or him?
Yeah, he's got. He's very detailed. He's like Eddie Howe in a way with his detail, and he's very. He knows what he wants, and when he's out on the training pitch, you'll do a keep ball, but in his head, he knows what he wants you to do in that keep ball. He knows how you want to play, and he's trying to push you to play the way he wants you to play, which is a lot like what Eddie Howe used to do. And I can see similarities there, and he's in the meetings and the debriefs, he works that way as well. So he's so detailed, and he knows exactly how his team wants to play. So we're trying to learn from him and try and play how he wants to play and get Liam Manning football going.
Your role, you touched on it in terms of, it's naff, but like impact sub or that sort of thing. Why do you think you are effective in that role? Like, what is it about your game? Because you do like sort of come on, and there's always you have moments where maybe because you're a little bit different to Tommy and kind of what you offer. Like, when you're going on a pitch, I know he's going to give it your all, but there's certain things you look to do when you step on as a substitute.
Yeah. I think when you come on as a sub, it completely matters what the stage of the game is. So obviously against Middlesbrough, we were winning 3-2. We're a bit deeper. We're trying to hold on to the game. Against Southampton, we're trying to push on and try and get the goal. So it does depend on the game. But I think in a game, there's always dull spots. There's always moments where the crowd goes down a little bit because the game's getting going again. I just try and get the crowd on their feet, really, whether that be trying to not nail a defender, but try and win a flick on, or trying to just do something to get the crowd going again and get the atmosphere up and try and push the team on. I don't know why it works for me sometimes off the bench, sometimes it doesn't. It's just the way the game goes. But I'm just trying to get the team going. Maybe they need a little spark to get going again. But it does depend on the state of the game. But when you come in as a sub, you just want to try and make things happen and try and be an impact, because you're trying to be an impact sub and trying to do that. Hopefully we're 4-0 up on Sunday and I don't need to come on and do anything. So fingers crossed for that. But it's just trying to get people going again.
How much do you watch the game? And when you're watching the game, you're seeing things, or do you not do that?
Yeah, no, obviously, when I'm watching the game, I try and watch TC and see what he's doing and see how he can affect the game differently. And we're different players in a sense. We've got different strengths and different weaknesses. So I just try and look at a way to try and impact the game. And whether that be, I look at their defenders and see where there's an opportunity for me to exploit, whether that be running behind or whether you can drop into feet and get the ball more. Just trying to study the game, and obviously at half-time, the gaffer will come in and speak to the lads who are starting, and we're all sitting there on the bench as well and see what he's saying, because his advice may impact you, and hopefully you can take that on board and it can aid a goal sometimes.
I appreciate you haven't had that much time out on the grass post Southampton, but has there been any focus on, I'm sure you do it all the time anyway, but finishing, taking chances, sort of executing in the final third? Has there been a focus on that?
There's been a focus on that. I think today we did a few of the lads, for the subs from the other day and who didn't play, came on and did a little bit of a session this morning. Cease put on a game at the end, and if you missed the target, you lost a goal for your team. So a lot about hitting the target and trying to take our chances, because we're making chances. We looked at the XG today and we had a great XG, and whether you believe in that and you believe that's how you should win a game or not, because it's not always down to that, because football's completely different. It's not a statistics game, but we knew we had a better XG than Southampton on the night, and if we just took our chance, we'd have win. But it's easier said than done. But we know we need to get better at finishing. It's something that we'll work on, but when you're Saturday, Tuesday every week over Christmas, it's hard to get the work in, but it's something that we're working on and trying to work out how to score goals and what we're going to do next.
As someone who's done that, and it's kind of, your job, if you like, how much of it is mental, how much of it is technical? Like, is it way more in the head as it is with technique, or is technique super important still?
Technique's obviously important, but I think once you do it over and over, you're trying not to, you don't really think about it, you're just going through and doing what you usually do. But confidence is a major thing. For me personally, I think confidence is one of my main things. If I'm confident when I'm playing and I believe in myself, then I'll obviously play a lot better. And if I'm going through a barren run, which I feel like I am at the minute, I haven't scored in a while, that I know I need one to drop for me. So confidence is massive when it comes to finishing, and everyone knows that when a striker's in confidence, that whatever they do, they score. If it comes off their shin or they miss it, sometimes it goes in. It's whether it's going your way, and I think our luck will turn in front of goal and we'll start scoring a lot more. Hopefully for me personally as well.
Yeah. How many of your goals? It's hard to put a number on it, maybe, but like where you've almost, how many when you've scored them has it just happened, and how many have you sort of consciously had to work at putting it in the net, if you see what I mean?
It's a strange one. The gaffer spoke the other day about trying to not think about scoring goals and trying to not think about doing this. Like, if you want to improve on that, you need to think, from a cross I need to get to the front post every time. So every time there's a cross, front post. Every time that J-Mo gets on the ball, you've seen him the other day, the balls he puts in behind for the runners. How many times are you making that run? And it's a law of averages. Eventually you will get on the end of one and score one. But I think when you don't think about it, you obviously do better. But that's just the way I work personally. But obviously, once you get on a little run, you get going and you can score loads. So we'll start scoring to this weekend, I'm sure.